Alright guys, more forgotten comics on the drop list. You might want to check your back bins for them for some gains. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Tribunal.
Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains. If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this princess, the Royal Highness, looking very lovely today, just like usual, doing that princess wave, so you do too. Bow down, respect, of course, there's a Coco dog.
Yeah, the mascot is here. Alright guys, today is Monday, and what we like to do every Monday is talk about the recent comics that have dropped in the market. And specifically, we look at 1 year ago today, to look at trending lists, speculation lists, hot lists, what other kind of lists? Menu lists?
Menu list.
Restaurant menu lists. And see which books have gone down in price a year later. And it's just a lot of fun, you know, like trying to see what the reasons were for the hype a year ago, why they maybe have gone down a year later. I can tell you though, there is quite often we find books for the list that did go up. So it's almost like we should do another list, the up list.
The up list.
The up-down list. No.
But
at this house, we just do the drop list. And that's how we like to report to you guys. So maybe you can take a second look at some of these books. Some of them are a good idea to pick up after everyone's kind of forgot about the drop. And sometimes there's a reason they were on the drop. And Zach will tell you, it might be a good idea. Never, ever think about these books again. So this is how we do it now. We have special. We do our top 5, starting at the smallest percentage drop all the way to the #1 drop book of the week in the universe. And you also get a special Zach pick of the week where he dives extra deep into the numbers and figures out which book you should be looking at. Don't forget to put on your swimming cap. Don't want to ruin that dew. You know what else will help you not ruin that dew? A cold dew.
A cold dew. You gotta get a nice glass of OJ, or a whole container of OJ from Florida, or ideally somewhere local, right? You don't want to go too far for OJ. You don't want to, if the gloves doesn't fit, you can't equip. Don't equip. Whatever.
If the juice, that's supposed to be the household juice.
Oh well.
Just drinking out of the whole carton. Is it pulp or no pulp?
No pulp.
Wuss.
It's pretty tasty.
You gotta drink the pulp.
It's very
That's all the goodies.
Yeah, sure it is.
You know where else you can get some goodies at?
Oh, what not?
Yeah, if you come hang out with us every Saturday, the ComicGains crew at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can get those gains directly off the wall of gains, where we also give a slab at the end of every episode show to anyone who's made a purchase over $10. And if you stay up a little bit later, at 6 p.m., the Princess of Gains comes on, where she hosts her very own show, sells all her own books for exquisite deals at dollar starts, 30-second auctions, and you have a chance to be on the legendary Wheel of Gains. Did I say how that works? A bunch of gains. A lot of gains.
All the gains in the world.
All right, back to the list. #1. Actually, #5. We'll start. #5 on the list, everybody's favorite 90s hero, Darkhawk. #1 from 1991. That's a lot of one. Mike Manley and Danny Fingeroth. Doing the work on this excellent book. And in case you didn't know, this is the first appearance of Darkhawk and also his origin. And ask yourself right now, what is Darkhawk's alter ego's name? What's his name?
Mohawk. Exactly.
Chris Powell, in case you didn't know that. He's known as Chris Powell to his friends, Darkhawk to his enemies. But this book, a year ago, May 2022, based on a tweet from James Gunn, people are speculating that he could make an appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, that movie's already going to be like chock full with a bunch of characters that I think they're trying to drop in at the last minute, you know? So who knows what's going to make the cut? I know Darkhawk's always been a fan favorite of James Gunn. So there's a chance. There's also, if you kind of know his backstory, his suit is actually like an alien technology from out in outer space, and it kind of like chooses someone to like inhabit. It's kind of weird when you put it on, you actually like transport your body in the suit. So it's actually kind of weird when you read the new series with like Kyle Higgins one. He's actually like taller and shorter than he is when he's in the suit. He's actually shorter than he is without the suit. Yeah, and if his like hand gets cut off in the suit, he still has his hand later on. It's really weird. It's kind of, but it could work out. You know, if they do it like, I could see a cameo. But
yeah,
a lot of things have been going on with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We got a bunch of trailers, and I did not see any Darkhawks in there. So I don't know if they would spoil that though in a trailer. That seems like they wouldn't, but without seeing him, kind of goes down a little bit. And landed on our drop list at number 5. Don't forget about that newsstand variant because it is more than double value.
Very nice, very nice. Well, the Hawk is dropped, did a double spin barrel backflip, and then dropped down on the ramp. Prices a year ago for CGC 9.8 was $242, now $147. Range is 133 to 350. Average sale is 213. It's a 39% drop. Not too bad, not too shabby for this 90 beautiful book that you can get for $9.8 for $147. Pretty good, pretty good. That's all I got to say about that.
I feel like everybody secretly loves this book. You just do.
It's a great cover.
You just do. I mean, Darkhawk, you know, he did a few things here and there, but
it's kind of like Batman for Marvel, you know?
Kinda. Slightly different, but kinda.
Yeah,
All right,
like
next up on the list, everybody's favorite Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew. But we have her first appearance, Marvel Spotlight 32 at number 4, 1977. Ooh, Gil Kane cover and Archie Goodwin story. Ooh, still in the poly bag, apparently. Still in the bag. We got first appearance of Jessica Drew, who is the first Spider-Woman. Yes. There has been a lot of females to don the Spider-Woman mantle, but she, however, is the first. And last year, it was known that Issa Rae will be voicing Spider-Woman in the new Into the Spider-Verse 2. We got to see some trailers for that. It appears she's going to be a pretty important character, probably up there with Spider-Man 2099 with that group of spider characters that kind of rule the Into the Verse sort of deal. Obviously, I haven't seen the movie, but you know, it's an interesting book. I'm glad that she changed the costume after this issue. She definitely needed the hair popping out. Yeah. The 32 no hair under there was a little weird, but you know, it's a cool character. She has a lot of similar powers to Spider-Man. Super strength. She can stick to the walls. Got all kinds, but she does have some extra stuff. You know, she's immune to radiation, also poisons as well, and let's see. She also has that pheromone control too, where she can actually excrete pheromones and get men to do what she wants. That's kind of an interesting thing. And she also has the Venom Blast, which was adopted by Miles later on. He actually has, Shocker. Yeah, she can perform the Shocker. She actually got her powers through some like weird radiation. I think they retconned her a couple times. She was a part of like Hydra for a while as a brainwashed Hydra agent. But
very cool.
A lot of things have changed, and that's probably why this book has gone a little on the drop. You know, made number 4 on the list. I was kind of surprised with Into the Spider-Verse coming out, but it's going to be a different, kind of like a version of Spider-Woman. Right. We will see. It looked like she was going to be Prego, too. So, we'll see how that goes.
2 Spider babies for the price of 1.
Right? Well, what's the price of this one, Zach?
Prices here go for this wonderful 8-legged freak was $4,950 for CGC 9.8. Now it's $2,002. Range $1,680 to as high as $4,950. Average sale is $2,779. It's a 60% drop. This is always going to be a key, guys. So it's always a pretty decent cover. It's a great cover. It's kind of weird that she doesn't have any hair, so maybe you can get a nice little remark of hair on there to really fill it out the way it's supposed to.
A remark.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny. But yeah, it's a great book. I think you should always be on an eye to pick this book up for a decent deal. A 9.8 is still really expensive, so you gotta like weigh the pros and cons first. Like, you know, maybe you're at a con and it's like, pro or con? It's probably con because con prices are way too much. But yeah, I would think this is always going to be a big key. Always going to be a big key. Especially it's like the first Spider-Woman. It would cover all of the Spider ladies that show up. The Spider Lassie, the Spider Punky Girl, and all of the other Spider-Gwen. All of it will make this book more valuable.
Word. And it's a sweet run, too. Everybody loves the Spotlight.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right. You know what everybody else loves? A great Greek tragedy. And it looks like Hercules making the list. Zach, can you go the distance?
I can go.
With Hercules, Prince of Power, number 1, 1982. This is actually a Bob Layton cover, who is a fantastic artist. And he did the story as well, in case you didn't know. Bob Layton has some really awesome covers. This is the first solo title featuring Hercules. Now, while back, that wasn't like that big of a deal. But lately, in the past, 5 years or so, these first solo title books are starting to get some heat. And as you well know, everyone was kind of speculating that Hercules was going to show up in the Thor Love and Thunder movie. And everyone was specking hard. And they're like, oh, it's going to be awesome. And I don't know if the movie's that good. And he ended up being in it. He was in the post-credit scene. It wasn't anything too spectacular, but they were kind of alluding that he could be a character in the future. I don't know. They didn't really give him too much time to explain, like, he's kind of mad about Daddy and all that deal kind of thing. But interesting as it was, he got a lot of heat. I also think this book has a lot of similarities to the Wonder Man #1 series as well. Like, both got kind of hot same time. Just first solo titles, kind of a... Not a big deal. Kind of got to a small big deal. Everyone was looking for him. But some other books to look out for Hercules. Probably why this one did get kind of expensive is his first appearances are very expensive. You got Journey into Mystery Annual #1 out of a lot of people's price range. Great book. You got a first Thor title, 126 is also a really good book with him in it. And Marvel Premiere 26, which is his first solo book, but not like title, if you want to say. It does say Hercules on it. There are also some good books to look out for. But, Thor Love and Thunder has came and gone, and so is Hercules #1. And I don't think it quite went the distance this time.
No, it didn't. The Prince of Power has now just become a regular local noble, feudal noble lord. Not much. Price a year ago for a CGC 9.8 was $350. Now it's $140. Range $70 to $450. Average sale $177. Again, a 60% drop from the high to low from a year ago. It's not a bad book. If you like Hercules, buy this book. It's only $140.
Hercules.
But it's not a key, guys. It's not a first. It's not. It kind of is a key, but it's not a first appearance.
It's like a toy key.
I mean, it's not even an origin. I don't even care about origins that much, other than it's kind of cool to get a little bit more of a backstory. But yeah, there's really not much going on with this book. I mean, if I would to get this book in 9.8, I would also want to have it signed by one of the creators. That would make it a little bit more special. But that's what I gotta say about that.
There's only one.
There's only one.
All right, next up on the list, we thought we'd go back in time and hit up some Silver Age action. Because every once in a while, Silver Age is usually a safe bet, but every once in a while it ends up on the drop list. And we got Strange Tales 157 from 1967. This is a Jim Steranko cover. And if you didn't know, there's various writers as well. There's a bunch of, I think the interior actually has multiple artists going on in this book as well. But it's a very underrated book and is the first cameo of the Living Tribunal. Also, don't forget that 158 is the first full. Usually people are looking for 158, but 157 is a nice backup. Or you just get both of them, then you just cover all your bases.
Yeah.
Well, the Living Tribunal has made quite a few appearances in the past year or so in a lot of Marvel properties, and that's why this book has taken off a couple of times. So, we got Thor Love and Thunder showed up in that movie as a statue. It showed up in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, again as a statue. And then, one more time, in Loki, in the episode Journey into Mystery, again, as a statue. So, I guess until we see the real version of Living Tribunal, which I don't know how that would necessarily work. Maybe, because it's like too powerful. It's like the second most powerful being in all of Marvel comics, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be pretty intense having to deal with that, like, on the big screen. I don't know. Maybe we'll just be seeing statues from this going forward. But until then, it landed itself on the drop list. I don't know, you might have to keep an eye out. It's Baron Strucker on the cover, isn't it?
I don't know who's on the cover.
It looks like Strucker.
That's probably right.
Yeah.
Baron von Strucker.
Von Strucker.
Yeah, so price a year ago for an 8.0. I couldn't find it any higher than that. Consistent prices. For 8.0 was $289 a year ago. Now $112. Range $112 to $289. $201 is the average. It's 61% drop. Not bad. This is a decent book. It's probably right on the fence of whether this is a good investment book or not, because you never know when you're gonna see him and if he's gonna be a consistent character. I think there should be more like intergalactic reality warping kind of beings being added in. Mephisto is gonna be showing up soon, so he's kind of on that level. And I think that would be a very nice little aspect where not only do they do more of the intergalactic stuff, but they also do more of the cosmic being stuff. Not as just a big bad, but something that can be like added into the backstory, added into like another TV series, or maybe even potentially like a celestial cosmic entity movie. It might be a lot, but it might be interesting. We should give it a shot.
All right, I see it. Good book. A lot of those Strange Tales a couple years ago were getting really expensive, and surprisingly, a lot of them are much more affordable right now too. So I know 158 probably could have made the drop list as well. Okay, next up on the list is the #1 biggest drop comic of the week, and there actually could be two of them. We got numbers for both 6 and 7. It's everybody's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Issue number 6. We have the numbers for 7 as well, in case you were interested in both of them. Fantastic cover. Strange book, you know, kind of a strange book. Came out in 2006. Mike Wieringo and Peter David on this title. And this issue number 6 is first appearance of El Muerto, and it is the cameo of El Dorado. There's some the reaching on those names there a little bit. Issue 7 is the first full of El Dorado. If you didn't know, El Muerto is a luchador. He's also basically his story only goes in these 2 issues, and it's basically his father has the mask on, and when he passes the mask to him. He puts it on, and it gives him powers. He ends up fighting Spider-Man in the issue. It turns out he ends up being good, and then they have to kind of team up to fight against his main enemy, who's El Dorado, who's the bad guy. And they kind of wrap it up in 2 issues. Well, Deadline reported that Sony decided to make a movie about these 2 issues in this obscure comic, and they're going to have Grammy-winning star Bad Bunny would like to portray El Muerto. It's going to be a standalone film, apparently, and last year when they announced this, these books took off pretty big. Everyone was looking for them. I know when we were digging in bins, you'd go to that section, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which no one else was looking in for the past 10 years or longer, and those 2 books would be missing, and people were selling them. Well, you wait a little bit longer, and they ended up on the drop list. Now, I haven't heard anything cancellation about this movie. I think everyone thinks it's kind of weird, but I don't know. At this point, I'm not sure how much I trust Sony or not. I know any character that comes out in a Sony in Spider-Man comic is automatically a Sony property. Automatically. Even to this day, if a character comes out, it's automatically a Sony property. Oh, cool. So they're trying to cash in on that. Spider-Boy just came out last week. Sony property already. So keep that in mind. They only got limited stuff to work with. It has to be Spider-Man related. That's why they got the Sonyverse. So what's the scoop or the drop? What's the elbow drop on this book, Zach?
Yeah, it's pretty substantial. So price a year ago for 9.6 of the number 6 was $150. Now $52 range, $52 to $150. Average sales 108. And are we doing the second one?
Yeah, we'll do 7 as well.
And then number 7, also 9.6, keep it consistent, was $100 to $27 on 27 to 100, and average sales 63. Yeah, that's a 73% drop. The one before that, 65. Ouch.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would wait and see if the movie's coming out, or if it does show a trailer or anything before you try to sell any of these. But maybe keep an eye out for them. You never know. I don't know. Yeah. It gotta be a decent enough read that someone thought they could write a screenplay based on 2 comic books with no other backstory of these characters. So somebody thought it was cool. I'm not really sure Bad Bunny's acting capability either. He's won some Grammys. Maybe it'll be a musical, wrestling musical. All right, so now we're here. What is the #1 pick of the week for Zach? What does he suggest?
If you can afford it, do the Marvel Spotlight 32. I think that one has legs. Big legs. Thick legs.
For thick days. Jessica Drew legs?
And then for probably the deal of the day. So my #1 pick was Marvel Spotlight 32. Probably the deal of the day would be probably the Strange Tales 157. But just get that book if you like that book. I think that's a pretty good deal, and I think it will continuously go up. Maybe not as much as the Marvel Spotlight, but Strange Tales, original run, first appearance, Steranko cover, all this stuff going for it, and a pretty decent price range for that. Pretty good deals for that book. That's all I gotta say about that.
That's all I gotta say about that. All right, guys. Woo! That's the drop list for this week. And if you like hearing it as much as we like delivering it, you can do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Then you can do another favor and hit the like button because you love us so much. And also, if you don't mind, there's a little notification bell you can click on so you know when we're going live. We did go off script last week and went live on a Thursday. If you missed that, probably because you didn't have the notification button on. But we'd also love to hear from you guys. So leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about this week's drop list. Love to hear what anyone thinks about the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 6 and 7. If you were all happy to see those books go up or were kind of confused, I don't know. I could go either way. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. And Zach, you got anything special for us?
Yeah, sure. How you do that is you have to share locations for different garage sales to us, but no one else. That's how we can get those gains. Please. We find out about this other stuff, this weird storage unit place, and that was weird. I could barely see, but we found a lot of great stuff. Stay tuned. We might show it on our IG or YouTube later. Who knows?
All right, guys. Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember,
get those insane U-Haul gains.